How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews back with a little bit of a side-by-side hopeful goodness in the form of Treehouse Brewing. These are blended barrel-aged stout. We have Persevere and Steadfast. Both of these bottles come courtesy of my boy Steven. Thank you very much for sending these off. He sent me off a big box of beers. There was quite a few Treehouse in there. And these two are in there. They have to be related in some form or fashion. Even though they're not, we're doing them side by side. You'll figure out why when I read into this, unless you already know what I'm doing here. So Persevere over here, we have Persevere is a barrel-aged stout, imperial stout, featuring 70% bourbon barrel-aged imperial stout for various ages and 83% fresh stout. So 17 versus 83% fresh. The blend was then conditioned on heaps of coconut, vanilla, and cacao nibs. Over here on Steadfast, we have Steadfast is a barrel-aged imperial stout, a thoughtful barrel-blended imperial stout. A thoughtful blending session found the best expression of this beer, a blend of 42% barrel and a barrel-aged chocolate stout blended with 58% fresh stout. So it's a barrel-aged chocolate stout and a fresh stout. The blend was then conditioned upon heaps of cacao and kiss of house-roasted coffee. So over here, you have a mixture of 83% fresh, 17 barrel with coconut, vanilla, and cacao nibs. Over here, you have a much higher percentage of barrel. So you have a 42% barrel-aged chocolate stout, 58% fresh stout, and then you're dealing with cacao and coffee. I think it would be a fun side-by-side to see if I could detect the differences of, dealing with that kind of coffee versus the vanilla and cacao and all that kind of stuff, but also that percentage of blending. Now, that could have a lot to do with, how potent those barrels are. Just because one has, almost 50 fresh, 50 barrel, doesn't mean it's going to be bigger barrel. You would think that. It'd be safe to assume that, actually, but that's not necessarily going to be the case. So I figured I'd do them side by side. So here we go. Okay. So over here, I put the smaller percentage of barrel on Persevere, Steadfast, a little bigger barrel. Let's just dive into this. See where we end up. Science. It's called Science. And since I got these both from Steven, I'm assuming the ass out of you and me thing that works so well for so many people. Let me get my little stand going here. That they kind of got released around the same time. I could be wrong. But, they look very, 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 very similar. Almost identical. As far as head retention, color, the whole nine. They're dark, but not hyper dark. I can actually see through it. I get this rich mahogany color. I can see actually through this beer completely because there's light down here. So they're dark, but not like crazy over the top dark. Not much I have on either of them, even if I give them a swirl. Almost identical, a little bit less of a head over here. Over here is the coffee and cacao. I always expect a little bit less of a head from coconut-based beers. That's just me. Anyway, let's get a nose over here. I'm not getting a huge barrel presence here. A little bit of sweet bourbon, nothing too crazy. Sweet spirit. I shouldn't even say bourbon. Chocolate abounds. It's pretty much just the chocolate in this is by far and away the largest portion of the show, as I spill everything all over the place. I haven't used these glasses in a while, so I'm off my game. But I got it all over my hands, so my hand's going to be all like icky, sticky and stuff like that. So massive swirl beers badly reviews. And that's really the biggest portion of the show. Not a big beer. It doesn't have a ton of heat to it or anything like that. Very chocolate forward. You're telling me there's coconut in there. You're telling me there's vanilla in there. Sure, fine, whatever. But they're not like really jumping out on the beer. The biggest portion is chocolate and a little bit of soft spirit. Let's see what we got going on over here. Vanilla is infinitely larger over here. I'm not going to say there's a big, huge barrel presence over here, too. They come out very similar on the nose, to be perfectly honest with you. But the vanilla over here is by far and away infinitely more omnipresent than it is over here. You put these next to each other as blind beers. You say, okay, smell these. I say they're the same beer, and this one has vanilla in it. Not that this one doesn't, but this one has a heftier addition of vanilla in it. And when you're talking about the additions in here, you're talking about the coconut, vanilla, and cacao nibs, and you're talking over here that vanilla and well, it's a chocolate stout too, but the vanilla and no, actually, it says cacao nibs. Wait, okay, now we're just I'm reading wrong. So this is a barrel-aged chocolate stout with 85% fresh stout that is blended with copious heaps of cacao and a kiss of house-roasted coffee. No vanilla in this. None. So is that all coming from the barrel? I mean, it's there. You're telling me there's no vanilla in that? I don't even think that's not like a barrel vanilla. That's vanilla. Maybe there's vanilla in the chocolate stout? I don't know. But this is chocolate stout. Chocolate and a little bit of spirit over here. Vanilla leads the way. Let's dive in. Cheers. I forgot to put my little stoppers in. I just forget to put those in. Anyway. That's tasty. Honestly. There's a decent amount of like a little spirit barrel thing going on. So you have that much lesser percentage over here, but I'm getting a little barrel char. I'm definitely getting a spirit. There's a little bit of heat to it. I talk about ABVs on these. I didn't because they don't tell you. It's got to be double digits, 12% probably right around there. That's my guess. That would have been fun if I dropped it. I mean, it's a really tasty, well-done stout. Blend, I should say. Definitely getting chocolate. Definitely getting a vanilla in this. Definitely getting a coconut. I think that combination of the vanilla, chocolate, and coconut on this, in combination with the spirit in the barrel, I think is elevating the barrel. That's why I think I'm getting so much barrel off of it, because I think there's a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of coconut, and a little bit of chocolate char from a barrel char. And I think when you combine those adjuncts with that barrel, I think that's what it is. It's kind of elevating that barrel a little bit. That's why I think I'm getting a decent kind of barrel presence off of this beer over here. Very tasty. Sweet, but it's supposed to be sweet. It's a big barrel-aged stout blend. I like the way vanilla and coconut comes off it, to be perfectly honest with you. Coconut's probably by far and away my favorite flavor. More specifically, my favorite flavor derived from barrels. And when you can use coconut as an addition smartly enough to elevate the coconut you're getting from a barrel, it's kind of a win in my book. Let's go over here. Cheers. There's no way there's not vanilla in this. It's not the way physics work on Earth. It's not possible to have that much vanilla in a beer and not have vanilla in it. Like, you can't get that level of vanilla out of a barrel. You can't. You can't do it. It's just, we don't live in that world where the physics work like that. And that's after drinking this, which has a nice vanilla presence to it. You're telling me I'm going from a vanilla added stout that shows a nice, meaningful level of vanilla to something containing no vanilla, and it's infinitely 5 times more vanilla than over here. The only explanation is that beer, the blend, either the blend they use, like the fresh blend or the barrel blend, had vanilla in those bases. And then what they're explaining to you on the label is what they did to the mixture after they blended it. Because it just doesn't make any sense. And that's I'm going to tell you this right now. That's not me guessing. That's what happened. That's fact. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way there's no vanilla added to this thing. And some chain of command along the way, either of those beers are made. And it's his biggest star of the show here. It's not heavy-handed. It's not over-the-top vanilla. I've had much more aggressive vanilla in beers before. But, man, that's like, if you told me this was like I don't know. It's a barrel-aged blend on copious amounts of vanilla. Let's use their verbiage. I would be like, that's perfect, spot on. But that's not what they say here. Unless I've read further. Maybe I missed something. I skipped the last paragraph because I figured. The finished beer has incredible depths of complexity, featuring notes of chocolate-covered bourbon candies, chewy chocolate caramel, and oaky vanilla cream. Okay, I'm going to read it from the beginning again. Steadfast is a barrel-aged imperial stout. Blending session found the best expression of this beer, a blend of 42% barrel-aged chocolate stout, blended with 58% fresh stout. The blend was then conditioned on heaps of cacao and a kiss of house-roasted coffee. So they talk about the vanilla in the tasting notes. But it's so aggressive. They said oak-kissed vanilla. That's not from... That vanilla is not from a barrel. If this was a 100% barrel-aged beer, like it was just a barrel-aged beer, there's no way you're getting that amount of vanilla from the barrel. When you're blending it down, not happening. Lies. That beer sits on a throne of lies. It's a tasty throne of lies. I think they're delicious lies. But that's not from the barrel. From the barrel. Anyway. But they're both really tasty, let's put it that way. I mean, over here, as I spill it again. God damn, I suck with these glasses. That's my favorite version over here. Which honestly, I thought the more barreled version would be my favorite. Because what it does is it takes that vanilla, takes that chocolate, takes that coconut, and it just blends so well and elevates the vanilla, coconut, chocolate you get from the barrel. It's not a huge boozy beer. This one's quite a bit more boozy, quite a bit more barrel. Not in the vanilla way though, in an alcohol ABV kind of way. But it just kind of works together in harmony, in synergy. I can't believe I just used the word synergy. Like I want to choke myself out because I think that's the shittiest word in history. This is the best review I've ever done. And it just elevates. Everything in here is helping each other. Over here, you have this mystery vanilla. There's no vanilla in the beer, but it's just obviously there's tons of vanilla in it. And there's no coffee real presence to it. There's a roasted maltiness that I confuse with coffee. Maybe that's the coffee making me think that. But I drinking this, I don't think coffee. I mean, there's a nice roastiness to it, but nothing I haven't gotten from a core 4 beer. Let's put it that way. And comes off a little bit hotter. So, I really did think I was going to like this one better, but this one's just kind of more my speed. For science, always got to do it for science. What's my guess on this one? Is it going to be better? I think it might be better than the both. We'll see. I mean, that vanilla is still big, but not nearly as big as it was over there. No, that's still better. That is the best. This is better than that. That's still a tasty beer. And this is fine. It just loses a little bit of its kind of dip on its curveball. That's the winner. Persevere, baby. I love being steadfast, but apparently I'm a bigger fan of persevering. Yeah, tasty stuff. Fun little side-by-side. And definitely kind of like preconceived notions. I went into it and be like, okay, bigger barrel, it's going to work. But I think two things happen. Either they added vanilla and just lies, or they put the wrong beer in here. I think that it's one of the previous iterations of the beer, the blended or the barrel-aged version, has a copious amounts of vanilla. I think they knew that. This is conjecture. This is me just spitballing after drinking these. They had a beer that was so vanilla for that they blended it out. That's my guess. Is what it is. But yeah, winner. Chicken dinner. So yeah, let's talk about it. Are these some of the better blended stouts I've had as of late? Yes. Mount Rushmore status? No, but eking up towards the top. Yes. Just in the conversation. Value availability, no idea. Steven, let me know what's what. And leave you with if you like what we like these beers. If you like blended beers, you like flavorful beers, you're a fan of vanilla, especially in a non-vanilla variant. And It's like side-by-sides, because if you have these beers, do a side-by-side. I think it's a fun side-by-side. I think they're both born of the same cloth, and I think they've been barrel-aged and tweaked. I think, let's put it this way, I think these are two different barrel-aged beers with a similar stout base, and I think they took the exact same base and blended them with the exact same base. That's my guess. I could be wrong, and I absolutely could be wrong in that aspect, but as far as vanilla being added to this beer, not written on the label, that is not wrong. I am right. Done. There you go. Let me know if you've had these. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree or disagree or whatever. And yeah, down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massif if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little side-by-side right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.